All right, welcome along, guys. So I'm just doing a bit of a test out of the um, YouTube Live function, and I'm going to be doing a little demonstration of this kereru photo, which I took in fielding. So I'm going to start off just with an HB pencil, and I'm just going to start with a really simple sketch. Always like to start off with the basic shapes. So we've got kind of a big oval shape for the head here. Just like this. And the eye is just to the left of the center here, about that big. And then the beak comes out about this far, kind of leading to the eye. Just like that. And this curls around, turns into the kind of shoulder. I'm just going to focus really on the head at the moment. Probably flatten out that part there a little bit. So this is a good chance to use your rubber just to kind of rub out any extra guidelines that you might have. And just, look at it really closely. Just try and figure out if you've got the proportions looking pretty good. All right, pretty happy with that. I think, the eye might be slightly to the front. Let's move it that way a little bit like this. And then we're going to have lots of kind of variations of color going on in here. So we're going to just work that in with the pencil. Sorry, with the color pencils as we go. Sweet. All right. Tidy that up a little bit more. All right. So what I want to do with the pencil is we really just want to start out with the color pencils. I'm going to be using a mixture of these old Derwent Cumberland pencils that I got given, and some of these Jazz Art Studio pencils as well. And really just want to start out by kind of laying down a base of color. So we're just going to start out with this kind of greeny blue over here, a little bit of a teal color. So I'm actually just start with this color here. And I guess the main thing that I want to do is I don't want to fill the paper too much at the beginning. So I just want to sort of really lightly pencil in. Because if you press down too hard, you can actually kind of saturate the paper, and that makes it a bit harder to work into later. So it gets quite dark here underneath the chin. So I'm going to build up some darker tones, but I do want a little bit of this sort of teal color here happening in the background. It's pretty soft and subtle at the moment, just starting off nice and lightly. Okay, now I've got this darker sort of blue color here that I'm going to start working over top of the teal. And what's really important here is I want to try and recreate that texture of all those feathers in there. So I want to be able to, I want to work in the direction of those feathers. So just kind of little wee flicks like that. You can color in as well, but just make sure that the pencil strokes are going kind of in the direction of the texture. One of the things I like about colored pencil is that it does take quite a while. So it's quite a sort of methodic process. So you can just sort of start off nice and slow, you know, take your time with it. No need to rush. And you don't want to press too hard too soon, otherwise it just makes the whole thing a bit harder. We're going to spend some good time on the eye, trying to get that looking really detailed. But for now, we're just sort of laying in the base of the head. All right. Let's just add in some darker tone as well. So we've got a darker blue here. And especially underneath the chin. And underneath this area here. I think for the pre-recorded versions of these drawings, I might just kind of give some instruction and then speed them up as well, because it can take, quite a long time to get through everything. But I don't just want to do the whole thing and then do a voiceover. I think it's kind of cool to talk about what I'm doing as I draw. Okay, so you can see I'm starting to like pick up on some of those darker tones now. So that blue in there, that really nice dark tone, that goes well. Probably don't want to go too far into the beak with the blue. You can hold the pencil like this on the side if you want to get kind of a larger surface area of the lead. So it's good for just sort of a good base tone. You won't be able to get sharp lines, but it'll be just good for a base tone. And then using the sharp point, the sharp end for those sort of feathery textures. Okay, that's starting to look really good. Okay, so let's work in with some lighter blue as well. And of course, I need to sharpen this one. Sorry, let's do this off camera. I like to use a craft knife too when I'm sharpening, because then you can just control the tip a lot more. You can get a really nice sharp tip if you want to, or you can get a softer, blunter tip. All right, so now I'm starting to like really fill up the paper. So I've got what, 3 or 4 layers now of pencil on here. You can see how that sort of more vibrant layers when you bring the lighter blue in there. And then I'll come back in with some more teal. Been looking at different sets of color pencils lately. I'm just wondering what sets do you guys use? Why don't you drop a comment on the video and just let me know. Been looking at the polychromos versus the what's the other one called? Prismacolor. Sound like they're really good quality, and they sort of, you can do like good layering and stuff on them, which is cool. Here we go. So this is just adding in a bit more of that teal kind of coloring. Those layers are really starting to build up now, aren't they? That's looking cool. Okay, so let's work a little bit on the beak now. So when we look at the beak, we've got kind of quite a yellow tip, and then it comes up, it's got some like white patches, light patches, and then darker sort of pinky orange colors. So I'm just going to start off with a little bit of the yellow, just really lightly work into that. Don't want to add too much yellow in there, although the yellow, when it mixes with red, will make a nice orangey tone as well. So I'll just add a little bit to the bottom. Cool. So this more orangey tone is sort of happening at the top. It's even a bit kind of pink through there as well. So if I build up the red and then I work over it with some white, that works. And then I've got this color. What is this color? Brick red. Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's like a browny orangey color. So I guess it's just a matter of sort of trying to figure out the combinations of colors that you want to use. It's probably a little bit of experience about knowing, which colors look good together. It's almost a purpley sort of tone at the bottom, I feel. Sort of a purpley red, so I'll just add a little bit of purple to that. And a bit of a shadow along the bottom as well. All right, let's see if we can work in with a bit of a stronger red here. Just need to try and leave some lighter patches on that top of that beak. And we've got some shadows in here too. So right inside here, there's a really strong shadow. So that sort of nostril bit. And then where that kind of, those feathers reach down into the beak, there's a bit of shadow there as well. If you feel like it's not really looking great, just stick with it, because it can be like you can get sort of halfway through a drawing and you can sort of feel really frustrated with it. Just see it through to the end and then try and yeah, just see what you can improve on when you're finished. Try not to give up kind of before you finish it. That can be tough, eh? Okay, maybe bring in a little bit of this sort of orangey yellow here. And it's quite vibrant. That might be a bit too vibrant, I think. I need another color. I need an in-between red and brown color, which I don't have. Apart from that brick red, but those pencils aren't great quality, so it's not blending very well. Okay. All right. Cool. So let's do a little bit of work on the eye now. So what we want to do from the start is it's really hard to add white over the top of color. So we want to make sure that we've got that couple of white highlights really nicely in there. And I'm even gonna just really lightly outline them as well. So we've got kind of a triangle shape here. Then it fades into a white bit up there, and then a little patch on the side. Okay, so we'll use this brick red for our red. Be slightly kind of more reddy through the middle, but brick red around the edge. And we're just going to really carefully kind of work around that highlight. So I'm not filling it in solid like that. I'm just adding a little bit of kind of tone around the edge. And then I'm going to use my red here, just sort of give it a bit more pop around the middle. And then a little bit of black. So you can see how the eye is kind of fading into black around the edge here. So I'm just going to start with a little bit of black here. Actually, I think what I might do here is just, if I bring it in a bit tighter, and that will be better. And then I'll just focus that up a bit. Hold on a sec. Nice. Okay, so I'm just kind of blending a little bit of black around the edge, not too much, just to give it a little bit of a pop. Cool. And then real nice solid black in the middle here. Except for obviously around the highlight. And then we're also wanting to work kind of a little bit of black just around the eyebrow area, or the eye lid, I guess it is. And then that's almost like a pinky sort of light purple sort of color. So probably shouldn't have got the blue in there already. makes it a bit harder. That's okay. All right, nice. Okay, so let's carry on with some of the green. You can't see it at the moment, but some of these green areas that kind of the lines that pop down the side of the kereru. So they kind of flow like this. They flow around the eye and then out like that. So I'm still working in that direction of the feathers as they come around. And then I can just lay down a little bit of green in the background like this. Cool. Then let's come in with a bit of a darker green now, I think. Yeah, I'll just give this one a sharpen as well. Nice. So color pencil drawing is a great way to kind of just make art at home. It's, you do need just some color pencils and some paper. It's not messy like painting. And like I was saying before, it's quite a slow process. So you can actually really take your time and just kind of work away on it slowly. It's not like sometimes when you're painting, you sort of have to do some blending or brush strokes or something, and it's a bit of more pressured. It also suits, like, if you like the detail sort of look, you can really take your time and create those details. So right now I'm just sort of working on trying to get layers of green and blue, these sort of turquoisey teal sort of colors. So I'm going to work back in with some of that dark blue as well. Oh, sorry, dark green. And then as we come down, the feathers are kind of going to fan down the body like this. All right, we've got some sort of brighter greens happening along the edge here as well. So I'm just going to add a bit of yellow. When you add yellow to green, it just makes it a little bit brighter, because green is made of yellow and blue. Hopefully you know that already. Yeah, so you can kind of just make a slightly limier green. Do need to work back into it and layer it up a little bit. All right, we've still got quite a bit of work to do in that area, but I just want to introduce a little bit of the purple. One of my favorite colors. I mean, I've got a few, but do like me a good purple. And it's one of the things with the kereru, that just the way that it has so many interesting different colors happening in the same bird. what I'm going to do is just bring the purple down a little bit further than it looks on the picture. And then I'm going to work into it with a little bit of blue and just sort of overlap it a bit. Blend it in. See, it's quite soft and subtle, isn't it? It's quite, it takes a wee while. Now it's actually lighter at the top of the head because of the tone. So the light is hitting the top of the head. So even though it's like a similar blue color, we just want to show that as a lighter blue. Kind of looks cool too to have some of the feathers sort of breaking out of the shape of the head, so it makes the whole thing look kind of more fluffy. In my example one, I've just got some really terrible Photoshop cutting out from the photo I took. Yeah, but this is good. Nice to see a few more people coming. Hello. Hope you're having a nice evening. The whole video is going to be up on YouTube. I'll just save the whole video. So if you missed the first part, then that's all good. You can come back to it later and do it. So you can use any color pencils that you've got. Obviously, the better the quality, the more layering you can do with them, and also the bigger range you're going to have. So these Derwent Cumberland ones are really nice, quite old-fashioned, and yeah, and obviously your more expensive sort of sets will do the layering thing, but you can do it with cheaper pencils as well. So yeah, don't let that stop you if that's what you've got. Just going to add a few darker tones in this green. And then I'm just going to work in with the black, get a bit more dark tone underneath here. Just underneath the beak as well. Don't go too hard with the black. You don't want to end up kind of outlining everything with black. But where there is shadow, you want to make sure that there's, it's generally darker. We don't want any of those really bright pops of color under there. There you go, that's looking a bit nicer. It's a little bit of a sort of shadow, like a depression here as well, between the beak and the eye. Quite subtle, but you see how that just gives that a bit more depth now, a bit more tone. All right, cool. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to leave it there. That's half an hour. Thanks for coming along to do this practice with me. I'm going to be doing some more of these live classes, and I will let you know in advance next time when I'm going to be doing it. But I just wanted to test out the technology, and yeah, have a good evening. Thanks.